Hey YouTube, iTech with Lex here. In this video I'll be comparing the first generation iPad to the just released iPad 2. So let's begin with comparing the hardware of both devices. Looking at the screen of both the iPads, they both support the same resolution, 1024 by 768 pixels. In terms of size, they both have a 9.7 inch IPS LCD backlit display. Now if we move further down, we'll see that both of the iPads have the same sized home button. Looking up here on the first generation iPad, you'll see nothing but two sensors, which include an ambient light sensor as well as an accelerometer. Looking at the iPad 2, you'll see one of the biggest features that was released with this update, the front-facing camera. As well as the front-facing camera, you'll see both the same sensors as on the iPad 1, as well as a gyroscope, just like in the iPhone 4. When flipping the two iPads around, you'll start to notice some obvious differences, the biggest being the design. When Apple released the new iPad 2, one of the biggest update features was the fact that it was significantly thinner and significantly lighter. And this definitely translates into a much better user experience, and I find myself enjoying using the iPad 2 a lot more than I did with the iPad 1. In terms of weight and size, the first generation iPad weighs 730 grams, and in terms of thickness it is 13.4 millimeters. And comparing this to the size of the iPad 2, you'll find that the weight is 613 grams or 601 grams depending on if you have the Wi-Fi only model or the 3G model as well. Besides that, you'll see that the width of the iPad is only 8.8 millimeters thick in opposed to what I just said, 13.4. So as I also said before, it definitely translates into a much better user experience. Moving on, you'll obviously notice the biggest feature right here, the camera. This was released with the new iPad 2, a rear-facing camera capable of VGA still shots, as well as filming in 720p HD video, just like the new iPod Touch. If you look down here to the left of the iPad 2, you may be able to see a speaker grill. The speaker grill on the first generation was previously located down here, and obviously looking at them you can notice that it is significantly larger than on the first generation, and that as well translates into much better audio quality. Even though there have been some very significant updates in terms of hardware, the most important updates have actually been on the inside of the iPad. Looking at the first generation iPad on the left, it had a 1 GHz Apple custom A4 chip and sported 256 megabytes of RAM. Whilst the new iPad 2 on the right has a 1 GHz A5 dual-core processor and 512 megabytes of RAM. Now basically what this means is that you will receive twice the speed and twice the reliability in terms of RAM and being able to multitask. So considering everything I've said about the two devices, I'm going to give you my personal take on them, and if I think that it's worth upgrading from the first generation to the second generation, or alternatively buying a first generation iPad instead of the second due to its price being lower than before. Well, if I had to answer that question on whether you should upgrade from the first generation, I would have to say no. But then again, I don't want to give such a blatant answer, since you'll be knowing what you will get when you upgrade. Basically what you get is twice the speed, twice the RAM, which translates into a much smoother browsing experience, and also twice the graphics, which make games much better and colours being much clearer. And of course you get the two cameras. The two cameras, I must say, are quite disappointing and will only be suitable for such things as video chatting using FaceTime or Skype, which obviously they were intended to do from the start. And besides that, you'll be getting a much nicer experience due to its weight being much lower than the first generation, and also the size, which feels much nicer holding. But otherwise, I would not say that the differences are that significant that you should upgrade from the first generation. Now I hope you enjoyed my video. If you want to see more content from my channel, then please click the little subscribe button on the top of this video. Thanks for watching, see you next time.